You'll hear people say, and the headlines are all saying and protesting, that China is done. China is dead. The economy is over. Manufacturing's moving into other countries. Look around. China's the place to do it. Decimated Chinese manufacturing, but China is going into 2023 with way less factories. The pandemic absolutely decimated China and a lot of the factories and the supply chain that make the products that the world uses. The world's factory got hit hard, but you shouldn't care about that. Let me explain why. Chinese factories are somewhat famous for jumping on hot trends. The reality, though, is that a lot of those factories are probably struggling anyways and aren't true specialists when it comes to making anything that's going to be cream of the crop. In my time in China, I've seen this happen multiple times. First, it was power banks, right? When power banks started getting big, every factory that wasn't doing very well retooled their entire assembly line and made power banks. Next was drones. When drones started to take off, there were hundreds and hundreds of factories that retooled to make drones. Then there were those Segways made famous by Mike Tyson falling flat on his face. So many factories retooled to make those one-man Segways. And finally, and most recently, when the pandemic hit, so many factories retooled to make masks. Now, while those markets may have been hot, right? Those products were easy to sell, selling like hotcakes. The problem with all of these random factories that aren't specialists making the same product in a hot space is that none of them added anything to the product. They were copy pasting everything that they could. And when that happens, the only remaining competitive factor is price. And when you're a small factory and you're trying to compete with the big boys, you're going to get priced out and it's going to be a race to the bottom every single time. History repeats itself. All of these factories that retooled to make masks got outbid with lower prices by factories that had economies of scale and could produce the product at a much cheaper price, selling it for a cheaper price. And when all the masks were the same, when all the power banks were the same, when all the drones were the same, when all the Segways were the same, what do you pick? Obviously the cheaper one. And all of those factories that made the decision without specialties to go into those industries and be copycats were eliminated. Right? They went bankrupt. Nobody was buying their lookalike copycat wannabe product. So in the intro, I said you shouldn't be worried about that. Why not? Because you know what? The specialists remain. And working in China, in my opinion, in the manufacturing space is at the climax, at the peak of optimal, high quality to good price ratio in the history of this country. That's why if you've got an idea or a sketch or a concept, now is the best time to do it. Not only to do it, but to do it in China. You simply have a lot better chances of running into somebody that knows what they're doing and will be able to turn your idea into a real business. You'll hear people say, and the headlines are all saying and protesting, that China is done. China is dead. The economy is over. Manufacturing's moving into other countries. Look around. Look in the room that you're in. How much of the stuff that is sitting on your desk says made in China? What are you watching this on? Bet you it was made in China. A large majority of products are still manufactured in China. But more importantly and more relevant to Morpho, an even higher percentage of very high quality precision goods are made here, right? There are products, there are textiles and cheap dollar store items that have shifted completely. If you're trying to make a cheap product, China's not where you want to be. If you are making the highest end product in your niche, in your space, Not only is China the best option, it might be your only option. So if you've got an idea for a product, or you have a product already and you're looking to improve upon quality, China's the place to do it. Feel free to reach out in the link below. Member of our business development team will get in touch. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, sound off with your comments below. Till next time, peace.